Hello, it is July 18th, 2023. The Eureka Springs Parks and Recreation Commission regular monthly meeting. It's 6:05 p.m. We're in the auditorium downstairs. And we do have a quorum. Though we're missing some people. May we do roll call, please?
Carissa Litherland.
Here.
Jonathan Tigan.
Here.
Mark Ingram is here. Ruth Hager.
Here.
Rod Gray.
Here.
And Sam Dudley.
Here.
Thank
So
you.
we're missing Beth Giltner and Laurie Kramer, right?
Okay.
I get that wrong every time.
Okay, thank you. Everyone has the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
It's Carissa, Rod. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. The agenda is approved. Do we have public comments?
I'd like to make a comment. I'd like to stand in a place and hear flag.
Come to the microphone, please, so it records you.
I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
Especially ladies, I'm Mary Elizabeth Lester.
You'll have to cut her
I'm
off.
the one that invented what you're talking about as well as Apple. I want to know why you guys have a controversy at your cemetery over a Confederate flag. I am Laban's daughter from the South that gave his life in Conway, Arkansas, 2 weeks before I was born. I want to let each and every one of you know today that Mr. Clinton tried to save my father as it went down. I may pack Lucas Oil in your windmills. You have any questions, I am your dam river authority.
Thank you. I don't want to interrupt you, but we are not the Cemetery Commission.
So I want to talk about your parks and your recreation.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you knew that's all. Thank you.
I am the wealthiest lady, and I sell my book for $191 million. William Shakespeare in the Regent's Bank, as well as your banking industry. Cornerstone was my very first bank. I spoke in front of more people than you can imagine. When I speak at the White House, I will speak as a Shriner and a Freemason. My son is Fort Seal. I'm going to announce something, as well as your communications. Defamation of character, stolen identity. Passports have been taken in your community. Your law enforcement needs more help than your park and your recreations. But I'm here to say thank you to a young man that's studying underneath me at Wingfield, Kansas, horticulture. I have that degree, and that is stored in Wingfield, Kansas, as well as Aurora, Missouri, as your FFA chapter, as well as stored in Kansas City, Missouri. I am here to speak on behalf of saying the most outstanding dadgum job in history. I want to stand here, as I do in so many places. When I leave you, when I come back, it looks more beautiful from age than it does by grade. I am your OG reader, and when my cousins in Tennessee get jealous of us here, I want to say thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Can I say thank you? And I promise the girls don't cry.
Thank you.
I studied
And
law in
your
Temple.
I'm sorry, but your procedure is you have 2 minutes to speak, and your 2 minutes is up.
I understand that.
I'm sorry, your 2 minutes is up.
I set those procedures in Aurora.
We appreciate you, but your 2 minutes is up.
But I would like to have my salary. as
Thank
well
you.
as the
Your
others.
2 minutes is up.
Everybody
You may have a
that
seat, please.
community service.
You can have a seat, please.
In Jackson, $10 an hour. So I would like to let you all know I am selling everything I own, including you.
Thank you. You can have a seat, please. Your 2 minutes is up. We appreciate you. Thank you. Have a
Do
seat.
you?
Yes, we do. Please have a seat.
The corn will be out, but I want to thank this young man.
Please have a
right
seat.
here for helping my son.
Ma'am,
Thank you. And your
Thank you.
communication's going down.
please have a seat or I'll ask you to leave the auditorium.
I'm
I
going
have,
to ask you all
please
a favor.
have a seat, please, right
I
now.
will when I get to pick a service.
Please. Thank you. Have a
I
seat.
don't need you to stand up to my communications. You're at the White House.
Okay, thank you.
Already went there 20 minutes. All right.
Okay, any other public comments? Ma'am, I will ask you to leave the auditorium if you speak out loud again. Thank you.
I have more of those trips to do, but I will think he's present for a part. You all romantic and truth.
You may leave, please. Thank you. Any other public comments? No? Okay, chairman's comments. I have none for this evening. Thank you. Sam, director's report?
Hi.
Hi, Sam.
How's it going?
Ma'am, please, stop disrupting us. Thank you, ma'am. I'm not threatening you, ma'am. But I will report this so that you won't be allowed to come to future meetings. Thank you, though. Appreciate you. Thank you. Go ahead, Sam.
I'm just,
911 is probably the answer.
Thank you guys for your outstanding work.
Go ahead, Sam.
all right. Okay. Hi. Yeah, so it's been another busy month for parks. The main event was, of course, Jamborica.
Yes, well done, well done.
It was
It
amazing.
was intense.
Good
It
job.
was
Intense, but
yeah,
amazing.
but it was great. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. That's the feedback I'm getting. You know, I haven't really gotten a negative review yet. I've had some suggestions, but no one said they had a bad time. So that's what we were aiming for. We also, if you had a chance to look at the quarterly report, we did. I mean, at the very least, we broke even. I would have to go in and really dig up all the numbers to see, you know, how we did exactly, but I'm pretty sure we at least broke even on it, if not made money. So thanks to generous supporters like Taggart Insurance, and thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, so thanks to, this is to the public, thanks to everyone who helped and all the volunteers and just everyone who came out and enjoyed it. So it was a big
Please thank your
success.
staff. I know that they must have worked, and you,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
hours.
We
And
did,
so
yeah.
Sue, I've heard that
Susan
worked
was, Susan was our
tirelessly.
Jamborica soldier. Yeah, she absolutely crushed it. So
But-
let that be known that
Really,
Susan
every
was
single
great.
person on that day specifically, I will just say to everyone, jumped in. Like, they were just going 90 miles an hour, doing everything that needed to be done. I'm just
I don't
like,
drive that fast, Mark.
you weren't doing very
I
that much.
adhere
They were all doing
to highway regulations.
But I was pretty impressed. They were all like,
Yeah, it was awesome.
"What do we need? Go here, go there, do everything." And they were, and it was hot when they had started really early, so they didn't start like at 7. They were like
Yeah.
all day.
It was an AM to AM day, 9
was-
AM to 1 AM
Yeah.
for me. So
I was
it
really impressed
yeah.
with how hard every single one of them worked.
The wall and sidewalk at Crescent is like, I put is finished, but it's 99% finished. It's still a little bit of grouting left on it, but it looks great.
It looks beautiful.
Big thanks to Simon at Public Works for paying for the sidewalk repair. You know, they basically footed the bill, no pun intended, for the sidewalk. And I think, I really like that stamped concrete. I think it looks
It looks
really
good.
nice and it's safe. It doesn't get slippery when it gets, you know, a little bit wet outside.
The
so-
landscaping looks really good too.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
mean,
really worried, but it.
Every time I drive by,
It looks
I
good.
look and I'm like, my rock work could have done better. But then I'm like, oh, I'm not a mason, so that's why it could have been
It
better.
looks good.
We got the last project at Harmon. It's in the middle of the project. We're expect to have it done before August. Basically tearing down that old deck and then backfilling it, doing a little landscaping. We found a lot of mold and rot underneath that on the lower parts. We're going to have to tear that out and replace it. So bummer, but it's kind of what we expected. So in the end, it will look very nice, I'm sure.
It'll look great.
We'll probably get some gutters on it too, so we can,
You're really good.
yeah. Anyway, that building will be very useful one day. Let's see, yards and yards of yard sales. We're gonna do an event at Harmon as well as Lake Leatherwood. We've been in touch with Devin Henderson from the chamber. We're gonna sign up in both locations. He said you can basically just pick what day or days you wanna do it. So we're just gonna do Saturday because I don't wanna do it 2 days, if I'm being honest. So we'll just do Saturday and sell what we can. Whatever we don't sell, we'll try to donate. Whatever we can't donate, we'll, at our discretion, probably toss in the dumpster that we pay for. So we just need to make some space. It's too much stuff that's been stored for too long. So we need to create a more healthy work environment. Gov deals, I didn't put this in the director's report, but I got a lot of stuff listed on Gov deals that we've approved, the 2 shuttles. The auctions all end on July 26th at 5 p.m., so a week from tomorrow. And one of the shuttles already has a bid.
Yeah.
So we're guaranteed at least $10,000 from that shuttle.
Does it have a minimum?
That is the minimum, yeah. It's like, I just said it. I don't like reserve prices. I think it's sort of like hides the true, like just put what you want to make. And if you make it, great. We went ahead and paid off the rest of the shuttle loan just in preparation for selling them, because you don't want to owe money on something, sell it, makes it more complicated. So as soon as we get the other bid for the other one, we'll have already paid ourselves back, and then I'm assuming the bids will continue to rise. There's a few other items on there too that have already gotten bids on them, so we're hoping to make some good money.
Very good.
Lake Leatherwood watershed assessment starting to ramp up. The Olson team is beginning their water sampling. We have a meeting on Friday at Harmon Park just to kind of kickstart the process, getting the team together. It's a very involved thing, and so I can't express how thankful I am to Stephen Dickey for managing this grant. Because wow, I mean, I don't think I would have time. I would have to make time for it, but I mean, other parts of my life would suffer greatly if I.
And Stephen has a really big passion for it too, so it's kind of nice that
Yeah, I mean,
somebody like that we know that he's taking care of it.
Stephen's
He's on it.
thebomb.com, for lack of a better term. It's very helpful. I feel like there's, a couple other things that just popped up after I'd already made this. They're small deals, but we got a check, or we will get a check for $9,600 from the city for the gardener's truck that was, we cashed in for insurance because it had been wrecked, but we never got that check. And then Michael was doing the finance and the audit and stuff, and he's like, oh wait, we never paid them for that, so we get a nice little chunk of money from that,
Yay.
which is good.
Good.
I feel like there's something else, but it's okay. I guess it wasn't that important if I didn't put it in the report.
All right.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions for Sam?
That's what it was. August 1st is the tentative deadline we're setting for the shuttle contract. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yay. Good.
In the meantime, are they still just doing the wristbands and paying us?
Yeah, they're just doing what it's been really slow, but summer is always,
Because it's so hot.
it's odd. Yeah, it's weird. I guess a lot of people go to Colorado and
Yeah.
New Mexico, they're doing other sports in the summer, but
I'm not going to ride my mountain bike when it's 100 degrees.
yeah, even on a shuttle, I mean, it's not pleasant. So,
Makes sense.
yeah. Okay, that's it. Sorry.
That's it. Okay. Any committee reports? Carissa?
Yes, for the long-range planning, we're at a point where we'd like to have a workshop use one of the next workshops to go through, what have we done? What are our recommendations? We do have a process flow and a kind of a proposal template that we'd like you to review and add input. And then really, we're at a point where I think this is kind of as much as this committee is going to be able to do. One other thing that we want to do is to just get public input on the kind of mission vision for each park, so that can align to when you're reviewing a proposal, whether or not what's being proposed aligns to that park's vision or mission, whatever we want to call it. So I think the proposal was to do it at the next workshop, unless there's a competing agenda item.
Oh, I think it's a good idea. At the workshop, you can come up with a way to collect input, whether you want to do a survey or whether you want to do a direct
Well, I definitely want you guys to review the sort of like, okay, if someone does come forward with a proposal, when is it at the discretion of the director? When does it need to come to the commission? What are the different sort of decision points and criteria that need to be considered? What information do we need in order to make that evaluation? So just to make sure we're not missing anything before we get to the point where we go, okay, we want the public to provide comments and input, and then we want it to be there so that the director can utilize it, and we've got a standard approach.
Good, that's exciting. Other committees?
On that note, Chris and I were talking last Friday, and we're going to have to move it to a different Tuesday, is that right?
Yeah, I can't, I'm, the first Tuesday in August, I'm on vacation, so if we could do it the following Tuesday or the Tuesday before.
I'll be gone that day,
Yeah, could we do
The
it?
following Tuesday, you'll be gone?
second Tuesday in August.
Okay.
Okay, could we do it? Again,
We-
we'll look
we'll-
at some
yeah.
dates.
We'll pass some
Just
dates
everyone
back
like
and
kind of
forth.
check your
Okay.
emails, and we'll
We may
try
have
to
to wait
figure
till
out.
September,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, other committees, finance?
No, we're going to go over these
That's right.
financials tonight, so
That's right.
Reconciliations are ready
Yay.
for your review, sir.
I shall do them quickly.
Okay. No other committees to report? Old business, we have the benches at Basin Park. Sam, you have your,
Yeah, I hope everyone saw the Facebook post of Stephanie's bench down there at
Yes.
Lake
The one
Leatherwood.
down at the lake is
Very nice.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Big thank you to the donators of that. Adrian and Dustin from their respective companies. So, essentially the benches at Basin, we'd be using the same guys, the same team. So just kind of keeping you guys in the loop as to what's going on. I was trying to use the bench that was donated to Stephanie as sort of a Kickstarter so people could really see it, have like a tangible thing to look at if they're wondering. Obviously, it's not going to look exactly like that one, but just so people can see the craftsmanship and see what, just even little things like the font on the bench that they use to write the statement, the memory, or what would you call that? The
Memorial.
quote.
Yeah.
So now that that's out there, we'll probably try to ramp up our efforts to get other people involved, CAPC, perhaps the city, to try and help us fund these benches, and then obviously reaching out to the public and formulating a way that people can donate towards them, get a name or kind of a recognition on them. So, but if you haven't seen them yet, go out to the park, and it's a good excuse to go out there anyway. It's really pretty right now. Not all the pond weeds gone.
I was going to say, well, I meant to ask about the pondweed, so it's gone, good.
Yeah, it
Yay.
goes dormant once it gets too hot, but
Okay.
it'll come back. Don't worry. Yeah, like Fast and Furious. It's gonna come back. It's gonna be another remake. Don't worry.
But are we going to be ready for it?
Yes, I've actually talked with. Sorry, I'm getting like. I need to go back and review previous directors' notes to see if what I've mentioned and what the chronology of things gets a little skewed. But I've gotten quotes from the Bella Vista water team over there. They came over and looked at the lake, and they gave us some quotes for a certain amount of acreage to treat with their aquatic herbicides. So I'll just put that out there.
It's
They are
for
aquatic
water.
herbicides, but these guys are professionals. This is what they do. I mean, Bella Vista has a ton of money, and they have their own lake management team. And I mean, especially Chris, the younger of the two guys, he was, a level beyond anyone, I've heard talk about aquatic herbicides. He's very intelligent. And the stuff they use is, very targeted and specific to certain things. So it's one of those things where you can put it in, and an hour later, people can jump in the lake and swim. But we've gotten quotes to treat the whole area. It's probably about $5,000 to $6,000. It's not much,
It's not
really.
bad.
So
No.
we're probably going to do it just so we can avoid the nightmare that's curly pondweed until we can figure out how to dredge and come up with a more permanent solution. And
well,
that'll
yeah, 5,000 or 6,000-ish, but It prevents us from renting boats, it prevents recreation on the lake, so,
Yeah.
it's one of those expenses that will pay for itself, sort of.
Repeat customers, people who come and they see the lake in that kind of condition, they're like, oh, I guess I won't come back next year if it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be like this. So, plus we just have a duty to, it's not just about making money, it's about,
It's
yeah,
about the part, yeah.
it's the right thing to do.
Okay.
Oh, we're also getting 250 more grass carp stocked in the fall by Arkansas Game and Fish. So,
Sterile grass carp?
yes. Let's hope. I will not be the one sterilizing them, but yes, they are supposed to be sterilized.
Hey, Sam, can we go back to these benches? With this price tag, don't we, does that not have to be competitively bid at 45,000? What is our bid amount?
That's part of the problem. I don't think we have.
I think it's
one.
pretty high. I think it's like $75,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so just,
I could be wrong. I'll get with Ida
But you
That's
can
about
find-
it.
Yeah,
but-
Ida will know, you can ask her.
let's
Yeah.
get like what the legal requirement is, because I know that one of the commissions recently just got kind of slapped for buying something without competitively bidding it. Just want to make sure that we're covering all of those bases always.
Yeah. It's hard
And
to,
even if we didn't buy all these at one time, but we know we're going to buy that many, it still qualifies as a bid. Like, we don't break
Yeah.
them up just to get them below that amount. So I'd like to make sure that we're competing this where we can, and we're making sure we're documenting if we don't have to.
yeah, it's a really difficult thing to competitively bid just because of the nature of the benches. They're using specific wood, and it's like, the engraving, and I'll try to see if there's someone who could come up with something.
But what I would say
Comparable
also,
to that, but-
if we don't bid it, then what we should write up is a sole source document that just basically says, this is the reason why we're not
Yes.
competitively bidding this.
Yeah.
Because it's very exclusive to all the reasons, right?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
put it
yeah,
all in
yeah.
there.
And
So just documenting it.
you could come up with specifications that factor in all of the criteria that you want that would allow you to get a like for like.
Yeah,
Because what you don't want to do, what I'm hearing you say, is you don't want to bid and then get something that's a lower quality or not as good craftsmanship
Yeah.
and doesn't have the right same caliber of materials, et cetera. So
Yeah.
you could do that if we have to, but if we don't have to,
If we don't have
I
to,
think
I'm
it's
totally
good.
cool.
Yeah.
But I think it's still a good idea to write down why you went with that
Yes.
particular person when you're talking about this kind of money, just in general. And I think the reasons are good. I'll just write them down.
Yeah, due diligence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Old business? Done? Move on to new business. Look at the quarterly financials for second quarter.
That's where that one went.
Can I just ask, is the percentage on the side compared to budget? That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. So good.
Here it is.
Here it is. That's good. Anybody have any questions for Mark or for Sam, or?
In fairness, I have not reviewed this as strictly as I would like to. We did kind of go over it a little bit, because obviously I think there are a few little questions that I would have. I think the other thing to remember is some of these, when we were budgeting some of this stuff, it was just based on some things that were so rando, like we were like, so, that's why some of this will be off. I think we're overall doing really, really good. I wish our revenue was up a little higher, but also in fairness, some of the revenue, if I misstate this, Sam, correct me, but it's not like, so this ends June 30th. It's not like all the taxes collected up to June 30th have been put in our account.
No, I think we're a
Maybe
month
2 months,
behind
a
too.
month or
A
two.
month, sometimes two, but that.
Yeah,
right.
by the
We just
time
don't
they
know.
collect it, get it, write us a check and do all that kind of stuff, it can be
Yeah.
behind. So in essence, like if we're just going actual fiscal year days, we probably wouldn't show in the red here. Or if we did, it wouldn't be 23, right?
Oh, correct. Yeah, on the year to date.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. Well, especially after we get the money from the shuttles and all
Right.
the other stuff we're selling.
Put our money
We'll
back.
definitely be back in the
Yeah.
And that first quarter is always rough because you're getting not much money from the sales tax because the time of year, and then
And
also
lodging is low because of
lodging's
the
low,
down.
bait
winter.
shops closed, and we also try to get a lot of stuff done in the winter that can be somewhat costly, because it's our time to get stuff done.
Right.
Okay, so what you're saying is that year-to-date, we're
Yeah, that's the
actually at
last report.
We're slightly over budget, or our
Yeah, we're in
income
the
is-
red, so to speak.
Yeah, our
but
income is less, but we're actually up quite a bit, but both income and expenses are up versus budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially, with the second quarter, we're what
We
20,000 and almost 20,000 in the green, in the black. So that kind of made up for that harsh first
Yeah.
quarter. That was pretty. We bought a new truck. We bought a new side by side in that first quarter. So
Right.
together, that was $50,000 almost, probably a little more. So that was a big reason as well.
If I remember, we did have a number of items that were, because we had that almost 500,000 or roughly
Right.
500,000. We had a number of items that we didn't budget because we were going to revisit. Have we actually paid for or, purchased or done some of those things?
A couple of
Because I
them.
think some of these they were parked. We didn't budget for them, but we did them anyway.
There were, yeah, exactly. There is one very specifically that we did not.
The 4th of July.
We need to modify the
4th of
budget.
July is-
Remember that
Yeah.
15, there was 15,000 for something that we agreed to do, and
There's a couple things. There's the wood chipper that we agreed not to buy because we talked with Simon and he said we could rent their broken wood chipper.
I know very specifically, because that it was actually part of the motion, like, we are going to not just say, hey, you're over in a line item, we're going to add the money specifically
Yes.
into that line item on the budget, so that when it came down here, it would not, it really doesn't affect the actual financials itself in terms of the
No.
dollars, but it does affect percentages of a line item that you're over or under budget. So I think we probably do need to go back, and I'll see what I can find of that, and make sure that we're adjusting our budget numbers with that approved amount that we said, yes, you're approved to pay for, you're approved 15,000 or whatever. I don't know why 15,000 is sticking out, but there was definitely
Well,
some.
there's the dam fixes, the dam railings.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what,
which weren't budgeted, if I
which
remember.
I haven't
Dam
put on the
fixes,
budget.
4th of
Weren't sure
July,
what to
I can't
budget.
recall.
There
There
were
was
a number
definitely
of
something
things.
else.
Maybe something with the shuttle, because we knew we were selling?
It might be worth just revisiting.
Yeah, we do,
Because if
yeah.
I remember
we-
correctly, it was even things like the 4th of July, we didn't budget because we weren't sure if it was going to happen.
Yeah.
But we had always said, okay, well, we'll just park this.
Right.
We will revisit it later and determine whether or not we need to increase the budget, or if this goes through,
Yeah,
then
we
we'll
definitely
adjust.
did. And I remember specifically saying, this is not one of those things that we need to actually specifically add that to the budget and it be recorded in the budget. I can't remember what it is now.
I think it was the dam
You think it was?
fixes.
We,
Yeah.
we talked about doing it even like a mid-year kind of budget workshop where we
Yeah.
can.
Adjust what we
And then
need
have a
to
meeting and go ahead and vote
fairly,
on, and vote on, because we
All
can,
right,
we
well,
can
I'll-
adjust the
I will-
budget now.
I will go back and
And
look.
then by the
at
end of
that.
the year, it'd be easier to do next year's if we have done these things.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I'm really,
especially if they're going to be recurring. Like, I'm hearing, the 4th of July, that should probably be added in as a line item going forward. We didn't budget for it this year because we weren't sure.
Right.
But it was a success. I think we should have it in the budget next year.
we did, but it was in the budget to spend 21,000, I think, on special events,
Special
which
events,
is
yeah.
basically Jamborica.
okay.
I mean,
I didn't
that's
know.
really the only special event we do. So, but obviously that got offset by reimbursements from CAPC in the city. I think they've each donated 7,500 or something. So.
Yeah, and I think we definitely do need, at some point when we have nothing else to do in our lives, come up with a net on that whole thing. We all know that it was a success, but it'd be nice to have it in print.
Sounds like
You know
such
what I
a
mean?
fun thing for the finance committee to do.
I could do it. I can make it happen.
I mean, Susan and Nikki in there, I mean, as well as me, but Susan and Nikki could definitely pull all those numbers from QuickBooks.
Yeah, I
and,
know we
mean,
were
it's all-
still waiting. There were a couple of expense things on the credit cards and stuff that we were waiting on, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think we do need to get together and at the end of the day, say, listen, at the end of the day, this is, by the time we pulled everything and this did
Yeah.
not cost the taxpayers any extra money. It did, you know, there was nothing, and you got this thing.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a specific report that says that,
Well,
that we can refer
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I mean, Parks is in the black, I think, I would assume, but, I mean, that doesn't account for the other 7,500 per CAPC
Exactly.
in the city that they donate. So, I mean, it did cost money, but
Exactly.
yeah.
But we didn't, you know.
just not our money.
Anyway, and I'm okay with that. I'm really good with that.
Oh, good, so you'll just make that a finance committee job to make
Yeah,
a report
yeah,
on
I'll
that?
do that.
You'll do that? Good, thank you.
For sure.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, and also there's things too that, you know, when me and Nikki and probably I'll have Mark and whoever else is on the finance committee at the time, when we make next year's budget, there's just a lot of categories that could either be modified or, you know, grouped into one, and especially the LLCP, it's very vague, and I mean, that can be an advantage in some ways, but in other ways it can be, it's just hard to track, you know, anytime you see miscellaneous, it's kind of like,
Well, I think this is our second year with this chart of accounts, and they'd gone from 500 of them, and you know, to
Yeah.
down this. So I think it's very fair to start thinking about, okay, now that we've had a couple of years with this, this is what we're missing.
As
Yeah.
long as we can map it so we can see that historical trend.
Yeah. And just make sure that we know there's no reason to not add something when we really want to track a specific thing. I mean, we should be able to do it.
And we can
Yeah.
get started on that before
But we don't want
the
to get
end of the
to,
year.
you know, down to every, you know, and like auto repair, we don't want to
Yeah.
track tires versus, you know.
paper
like-
clips.
Yeah, we can't do that, but,
Maybe we can start on that this fall and see about any other budget things we need to do, and have that kind of ready for when it's time for the next year. That'd be good.
and what we turn in, Sam, to the city council is just the April to June.
April
I
to
was
June.
planning
no.
on just giving them both, you know, the second quarter and the year to date, just,
Yeah, but. and
Cover our bases,
If
but-
you do the year-to-date, you'll take off all the little notes and everything.
yeah, I can take those off. Yeah.
I think Ruth will probably have to sign those, right?
What, you'll need to sign off on the minutes first, or, okay.
Oh, yeah, because
That
we
was-
gotta make a motion to approve.
Oh, yeah, do we have a motion to approve these financials yet? Has anybody made a motion? Are you ready to make a motion?
Or just-
I move that we approve the financials.
Ms. Carissa, do you have a second?
Second.
Ms. Rod? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. The second quarter financials are approved. Okay, so then that means they're ready to be given to city council.
Okay, yeah. I've gotten several emails about how they're waiting for our financials.
Gentle reminders, huh?
Yeah. Patiently waiting.
Okay. That was all we had in new business, unless anybody has any other questions about, for Sam or Mark? Anything? No? Guess we can move on to commissioner comments. Carissa?
No comments.
No comments. Jonathan?
None.
None.
Rod?
I'm very pleased with Jamborica.
Yay.
I'm gonna say that 1,000 times. It was just so much fun. And I'm not gonna mention names, but you know, for the dunking booth, somebody did not show up. But that's okay. We still did really well.
You were in the dunking booth. I was in the dunking booth.
I've already had
We did
ideas.
our job. Hey.
So next year what we
and
need to
I'm
do-
undefeated.
I'm not. I went
Next
twice.
year,
I
fill
went
the dunk
twice.
tank next to the stage, not so close that we're gonna, you know, put Ron's equipment on fire or anything, but close enough. And then while bands are, you know, switching, That's when we get up on the mic and we do the dunk tank
Yeah,
full
so
force.
it's all kind
So
of-
that's not
I-
just out there the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I think it would be great if it was
That's a
moved
great
closer
idea.
to where
Yeah.
the people would be sitting, because
Yeah.
it gets more activity.
I want to chlorinate that water.
Oh, my God.
By the end of the night, it was looking pretty
Jeremy checked
nasty.
it. Jeremy checked it. It was a girlfriend pink is what we call it, the color of the chlorine strip. So it checked out.
It was very cold. The water was very cold.
Yeah, I think food trucks will be fighting to get on
Yeah.
Jamboree next
Yeah,
year.
next year we'll, I mean, I think the food trucks learned a few things. I think it was partly we could have used one or two more, but partly that they were trying to serve a full menu, or at
Yeah.
least
Yes.
I think some of them
Simplified-
were. And,
Simplified menus would have helped them.
yeah,
But it was
quick and simple.
amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was amazing.
I-
And again, thank you, like you said, Sam, to CAPC and city. And,
Yeah.
You know, we had help with this event. It was really nice to just be able to do multi-agencies putting this on, helping parks, so that's good.
Yeah, the two breweries were also
Yeah.
gave us
Howard.
some good, really good donations. So thanks to
And we
ESPC and
we already
Gottahold.
booked the firework people for next year, just to look in our date.
I'm giving John a couple of weeks to decompress before I hound him. But yeah, we'll get back with him. I mean, I'd like to do a little bit of shopping around, but it seems like, you
They
know,
were
if
great.
everyone is happy, then
Yeah,
why change it?
they did a
But
good job.
Like they were very safe, and
Yes.
they, maintained the lines where people couldn't come close. I like the way they set it up ahead of time and paid attention to where it should be, what should happen. It seemed like they were cognizant of all the issues. It's good.
Yeah.
I've seen so many happy faces and watching the fireworks, and it was just like, I've seen it in Boston and Philadelphia and New York and different places, and I think our fireworks rival the same as what they had, because it went on for like 28 minutes. And I'm like,
Did you
this
time
is
it?
long. So, just have goosebumps from the feelings of the fireworks. So it's a very positive experience for all of us.
I think so too.
It's very positive for me. It's great.
You worked hard.
Someone asked me for a shuttle back up to the top, like right before the fireworks about to start. I was like, nope, I'm going to go enjoy the 15 minutes I get to enjoy. I'm going to go watch the fireworks. I'll give you a shuttle right when they're done, I promise.
Oh, good. Okay, any other commissioner comments? That's it. Before we make a motion to adjourn, I just want to point out that we might be rescheduling August workshop or figuring out something to do with that. We'll just be in touch about that. I'm going to say that out loud again.
Okay.
Okay. That's it. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Ms. Mark, have a second?
Second.
Carissa? Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passes 4-0. We are adjourned.